Parramatta's season is essentially over after their late revival against the West Tigers came to nothing in a thriller played before almost 20,000 fans. All the ingredients were there for a high-octane encounter, as the finals arrived a few weeks early. Conditions were tailor-made for attacking football. The full house sign was up and two neighbouring tribes were set to go to war. Wests were eager to end Parra's campaign, just as the Eels had done to them 12 months earlier. And in the opening quarter, that message was strong, even though the finishing touches were lacking.
He played at the ball, it went back into the end goal, and the Tigers have got to try, I think, to Gareth Ellis.
Gareth Ellis was in front of his kicker Robert Louis in spite of the ball deflecting off Joel Reddy. And Robbie Farah fumbled with 4 points begging. Another try went out the window when Chris Lawrence's last pass found the floor instead of Lottie Takiri.
And out it goes to Lawrence. Who's got a problem? No! He hasn't got the problem. Lawrence and Takiri have got the problem.
Eventually, though, the Tigers' normally potent left side pairing did get it right, aided by the Eels' shortened defensive line.
And here is Lawrence. Now Takiri. Takiri's got Hayne to beat. Beats him by passing to Lawrence. And Lawrence finally gets the ball over the line for West Tigers.
But when it comes to combinations, there aren't any better in the NRL than numbers 6 and 9 for the Black and Golds.
And the chip is on, and the regather for Farah. Marshall's coming on the scene. Farah kicks again. Hayne leads the race. He'll make it dead.
The home side was fortunate to only be down by 6 at the half-hour mark, but they couldn't hold back the tidal wave of Tigers' attack forever.
Out to Marshall, holds it back. Brown, but Bo Ryan scores the try.
It was almost like the tape had been rewound when Lawrence again offered his outside man a stinker. However, this time it proved far more costly, with Parramatta making them pay 90 seconds later.
Out to Joel Reddy, he got away and got the ball to Inu, who scores.
Burt banged it over from touch, just as he's done so many times. And that gave his side a substantial lift heading into the second half, as they found themselves behind by just 4, even though their opponents had dominated. But Burt wasn't the only left-footer who had the ball on a string, with Farah's perfect placement and Takiri's pursuit rendering Jared Hayne human.
Hayne looks at it and it's gone into touch. But the touch judge is saying line dropout.
And that kind of pressure produced the right kind of return a few tackles later.
Played out by Tahu. It went back and it's picked up the winger on the far side, and Bo Ryan has scored.
The Eels threw plenty at Wests for the next 15 minutes or so, only to encounter the newfound steel in Tim Sheen's side. And after soaking so much up, the Tigers unleashed at the other end.
And Rob Farah goes over to Andrew for Feeder to score.
That stretched the visitors' advantage to 14, heading into the last 15. But with their season starting to flatline, Parra took another gulp of breath.
Horro, he dummies and goes and he scores.
It's times like this when the Eels look to their magic men, and Feleti Mateo answered the SOS.
He's taken by the 8. No, he was released to Mateo. Goes for the line, gets it away. Mitchell scores. Mitchell has scored for Parramatta. Almost adjacent to the uprights. Mateo.
With 2.5 minutes remaining, Burt flew down the flank and sent the ball back in field for a possible match winner. But the bounce wasn't kind for Tamana Tahu.
Burt kicks, puts it back into the middle. They dive. And
Todd Payton had done enough to spoil and conceded a dropout, which led to Parramatta getting one last set and yet another second half penalty.
He's lost the ball. It's a penalty for a strip, and Luke Burt probably will find the 2 points here.
Burt then seemingly had a regulation shot to level at 20-20 and send the match into overtime.
And he's missed it. Luke Burt has missed the kick.
If ever there was proof that sport can be cruel, that was it. The despair of Parramatta's normally reliable sharpshooter was shared by the Blue and Gold Army, with the Eels going under in a memorable affair, 20 points to 18. And they can now start thinking about next year, while the West Tigers seem assured of a top 4 finish. David Rowlands, Big Pond Sport.